There comes a moment in every toxic relationship when something changes. It's not when you raise your voice. It's not when you finally win an argument. It's the moment they realize they can no longer control you. And that's when their behavior begins to change. Because people who rely on control rarely give it up without resistance. They simply replace one tactic with another. If manipulation no longer works one way, they'll quietly search for another. Understanding these patterns isn't about becoming suspicious of everyone. It's about recognizing unhealthy behavior before it steals your peace. So, what do people do when they can't control you anymore? 1. They'll try to make you feel guilty. When control disappears, guilt often takes its place. Suddenly, you're told you've changed. You're accused of being selfish, cold, ungrateful. Not because you've done something wrong, but because you've stopped doing exactly what they wanted. Guilt is one of the oldest forms of emotional manipulation. It makes you question your decisions and pulls you back toward the very behavior you worked so hard to leave behind. Emotionally intelligent people recognize the difference between genuine accountability and manufactured guilt. One helps you grow. The other exists to control you. 2. They'll paint you as the problem. Once they lose influence over you, protecting their image becomes their next priority. Instead of asking why you walked away, they create a story that makes your decision seem unreasonable. You're suddenly the difficult one. The disrespectful one. The person who changed. Why? Because admitting they lost control would require admitting their own behavior played a role. And for some people, protecting their ego matters more than protecting the truth. Don't be surprised when people who misunderstood you in private begin explaining you in public. 3. They'll test your boundaries. Not with one big action, but with small ones. A message they know you'll find hard to ignore. An unexpected apology. A sudden act of kindness. Not always because they've changed, but because they're checking whether your boundaries have. Toxic people rarely fear your words, they fear your consistency. The moment you stop rewarding disrespect with another chance, they begin realizing your boundaries are no longer negotiable. 4. They'll provoke you into reacting. Nothing restores control faster than an emotional reaction. That's why some people intentionally push your buttons. They criticize you, mock you, bring up old mistakes. Anything to pull you back into emotional chaos. Because if they can make you react, they can convince themselves they still have influence over you. But your greatest strength isn't having the perfect comeback. It's refusing to play a game designed for you to lose. Sometimes your silence says more than your strongest argument ever could. 5. They'll suddenly become incredibly nice. Not every manipulation looks like cruelty. Sometimes it looks like kindness. Unexpected compliments. Promises they'll change. Acts of generosity that appear out of nowhere. This doesn't always mean the kindness is fake. But timing matters. If respect only appears after they've lost control, ask yourself. Are they trying to build a healthier relationship? Or simply rebuild their influence? Real change is consistent. Manipulation is usually temporary. 6. They'll try to replace you quickly. Some people can't tolerate losing someone they could no longer control. So instead of reflecting, they rush to find someone new. Not because they've healed, but because control feels easier than growth. Don't mistake replacement for recovery. People who refuse to face themselves often repeat the same patterns with different people. The faces change. The behavior doesn't. 7. They'll act like they never cared. Perhaps the most revealing response is indifference. They pretend you never mattered. They act unaffected, as if your absence changed nothing. But genuine indifference doesn't usually need to be performed. People who are truly at peace rarely feel the need to convince others they don't care. Sometimes the loudest display of not caring is actually the strongest evidence that they do. The truth is, when people can no longer control you, they don't always leave. Sometimes they simply change strategies. But the moment you recognize those strategies, they begin losing their power over you. Because real confidence isn't about controlling anyone else. It's about becoming someone who can no longer be controlled by fear, guilt, or manipulation. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new upload. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.